Going viral isn't luck, it's a system. Have you ever felt like you're just throwing content out there but nothing ever takes off? If that's you, this video is about to change everything. Here's the truth. Virality is not random, it follows a pattern. Every viral post leaves clues if you know where to look. Most people quit too soon because they assume virality is based on luck. They don't realize that content that spreads follows a specific structure, one built on attention, engagement triggers, and strategic storytelling. The creators who go viral aren't lucky, they've mastered a science. They understand audience psychology, platform algorithms, and the precise ingredients that turn a simple idea into a viral sensation. And today I'm going to show you how you can do the same. So what we're going to talk about is reverse engineering viral content using the 10x10 method, the step-by-step process to find patterns and apply them to your niche, how to use AI like ChatGPT to streamline content creation, and why most people fail and how to avoid their mistakes. By the end of this, my hope is that you understand the step-by-step process to make your content more discoverable, shareable, and engaging so that it gets picked up by the algorithm and spreads far beyond your existing audience. And if you're a member of the Society, which is our signature membership at Babe, you can actually grab the exclusive 10x10 Viral Content Workbook to put all of this into action immediately. So let's break it down. Going viral isn't luck, it's a science. And if you've ever felt like virality is random, I'm about to show you why it's not. Every viral post follows a pattern, a repeatable formula that makes people stop scrolling, engage, and share. The 10x10 method is how you decode that formula and apply it to your own content. This is one of the most powerful tools for anyone looking to grow fast on social media because instead of guessing what works, you're reverse engineering success. So here's exactly how it works. This is the 10x10 method step by step. First, you're going to study this top performing content in your niche. Not just what gets likes, but actually goes viral and spreads beyond someone's existing audience. Step 1 is identify 10 accounts in your niche or closely related niches that have a proven track record of going viral. These should be people who are constantly getting massive engagement, not just one-hit wonders. Step 2 is find their 10 most viral posts. This is where the magic happens. You're looking for patterns, not just the most viewed posts, but the ones with high shares, saves, and comments. Step 3, break down the structure of those posts. Ask yourself, what's the hook in the first 3 seconds? Does it create curiosity? Does it challenge a belief? What format are they using? Is it text on a screen, a talking head video, a skit? What emotions does this post trigger? Is it shock, humor, deep relatability? Do they have any kind of engagement strategy? Are they using a call to action, controversy, storytelling? Then step 4, you will apply all these common patterns to your own content. So once you actually analyze enough viral posts, you'll start seeing very repeatable trends, specific words, video styles, or psychological triggers that show up over and over. This is your roadmap. Then step 5 is using AI to refine and optimize your messaging. Once you have the structure, you can use AI tools like ChatGPT to enhance your ideas. For example, you can ask, rewrite this hook to make it more curiosity driven. Or give me 5 alternative captions based on these viral patterns. Or maybe summarize the engagement strategies from these 10 viral posts. And here's something most people overlook. Performance nuances matter. A post that blows up on TikTok might completely flop on Instagram Reels and vice versa. So while you're analyzing viral content, don't just look for one-size-fits-all formulas. Look at what's uniquely working on each platform. And then a bonus tip is document everything. The goal is not just to consume viral content, it's to track what's working so you can actually replicate success and actually understand what it is that goes viral. So use a spreadsheet, Notion, or even a simple Google Doc to just organize your findings. That way, when you sit down to create content, you're not just starting from scratch. You have data-backed inspiration at your fingertips. So the main takeaway here is virality is not about posting more, it's about posting smarter. The 10x10 method gives you a clear system to follow, so that instead of hoping a post takes off, you're actually engineering it for success. Let me guess, you might also have tried posting viral style content maybe a few times, and then when it didn't take off, you thought, well, maybe this just isn't for me. Maybe my niche doesn't go viral. Maybe the algorithm just hates me. But here's the truth, virality is not an accident. It is a skill, and like any skill, it takes practice, testing, and refinement. Most people give up way too soon because they just expect instant results. But expecting to go viral after a few attempts is like walking onto a baseball field for the first time and thinking you'll hit a home run on your first swing. It is just not how it works. Think of virality more like cracking a safe, right? Not that I know much about cracking safes, but let's say if you had to crack a safe, would you turn the dial once and then just walk away if it didn't open? No, you would be testing multiple different combinations until you found the exact code that unlocked it, getting some clues along the way. Going viral works the exact same way. Every post you create is another turn of the dial. Every piece of content you put out gives you clues and data about what works and what doesn't, but most people, they'll just stop too soon. What's actually happening when your posts don't take off? If you've tried creating viral style content and it just hasn't worked yet, there are a few different things that might be happening. You might actually be analyzing the wrong accounts. Like, are you studying consistent viral creators or just want a one-hit wonder that got lucky? You could be also misinterpreting why a post went viral. Was it the hook, the topic, the timing? Virality is rarely about just one thing. You might be giving up before the algorithm actually has time to favor you and understand who your ideal audience is. The algorithm rewards persistence. If you quit after 5 or 10 posts, you just haven't given it enough data to work with. So a reality check is your first 50 posts should be viewed as data collection, not a final judgment on your ability to do well or go viral. Each post is going to teach you something new. Which hooks are going to grab attention, which topics are going to resonate most, what formats drive the highest shares for you, and how the algorithm actually interacts with your content over time. And if you're not tracking and learning from your results, you're wasting really valuable insights that could get you closer to virality and therefore closer to audience growth. So instead of posting blindly and hoping for the best, start optimizing. Use AI to analyze your captions, your hooks, and your ideas. Ask ChatGPT, can you rewrite this Instagram caption in a way that sparks curiosity? Can you give me 5 variations of this hook that are going to be more engaging? Treat every post like a test. Study your analytics. Track patterns in engagement. Double down on what works. Commit to 100 posts, not just 10 or 20. Most people quit before they hit their tipping point, but when you stay in the game long enough, you eventually crack the code. Virality is not about luck, it's about iteration. Every post you make is one step closer to understanding what makes content take off. So instead of asking yourself if you're good at creating content, ask yourself, am I actually testing enough to figure it out? Because the only way this doesn't work is if you stop and give up too soon. Most people approach content creation like a guessing game. They throw ideas out, hoping something sticks, but they never take the time to analyze what's actually working. That's where AI comes in. AI isn't here to replace your creativity, it's here to enhance it. It helps you spot patterns, refine your messaging, and actually optimize what's already working. So instead of just creating more content, you want to be working on creating smarter content. So let me show you exactly how to use AI to really just fine-tune your strategy so that every post you create has that higher chance of going viral and bringing new audience in. So one of the biggest mistakes people make is not studying their own content. If a post performs well, do you know why? If it flops, do you know what went wrong? You can use AI to analyze engagement trends and help you figure out what's driving results. So try this. You could ask ChatGPT, analyze the engagement on these 5 posts and tell me what patterns are leading to higher shares. AI will look at the data and help you to identify trends. Are your posts with bold, contrarian statements getting more shares? Are your list style posts performing better than personal stories? This is how you stop guessing and start optimizing. So if you don't know where to start, look at what's already working in your niche. AI can help you study viral posts from competitors and actually generate content ideas, not copying, but based on their best performing posts. So what you could also try is a prompt that says, give me 10 Instagram post ideas based on the best performing content from whoever your competitor is. So this gives you data-backed starting points instead of just brainstorming in a vacuum. But remember, you really do not want to be copying their content. So make sure you use AI to understand what hooks, what structures and formats are resonating with your shared audience. Then take those insights and make sure to put your unique spin and value on them. That's really, really important. You could also use AI for hook testing. We all know that a post lives or die in the first 3 seconds. If your hook isn't strong enough, people scroll past no matter how good the rest of your content is. So instead of just writing one hook, crossing your fingers and hoping for the best, use AI to generate multiple variations and then test which one would grab the most attention. So you could ask ChatGPT, rewrite this caption in 5 different styles: curiosity driven, authority driven, humor infused, emotional, and urgency based. Now, instead of just guessing which approach will work best, you can test different versions and actually track which one performs better. This is exactly how you increase your chances of virality. The main takeaway is that AI can help you work smarter and not harder. So instead of creating more content, create better content. The biggest mistake people make, as I've said, is just stopping too soon. They just assume it's not working, when in reality, the tipping point happens after repeated exposure and fine-tuning. Like, you really need to think like a scientist. Every post you're creating provides feedback. Study those analytics. Look at which posts get the most engagement. Use that to consistently refine your content strategy. The more you test, the closer you get to cracking this code. And what I want to share is, if you do want a step-by-step system for analyzing your content and optimizing virality, I really want you to grab the 10x10 Viral Content Workbook inside the Society. Because here's the thing, once you start using data and AI to guide your strategy, you will never have to guess again. Another of the huge objections that I hear is, there's no one in my industry going viral. And if you believe that, I have good news for you. It's not true. If you're not seeing viral content in your niche, it doesn't mean it's impossible. It just means you're either looking in the wrong places or thinking too narrowly. Virality isn't just about studying people exactly like you. It's about studying patterns that work across multiple industries and applying them to your own space. So think about it like this. If you were opening a bakery, would you only study other bakeries? Or would you look at food influencers, coffee shops, and gourmet restaurants to see what's actually working in that broader space? Some of the best content ideas aren't going to come from direct competitors. In fact, they probably shouldn't. They're going to come from adjacent industries, people serving a very similar audience, but in a different way. So here's how you could actually find viral inspiration beyond your niche. If you find yourself really struggling to find that kind of content in your industry, what we're going to do is take one step outside your niche. And here's what it looks like. Let's say a prenatal nutritionist could study fitness creators targeting new mums, or a business coach could study mindset influencers. A relationship coach could study personal growth creators. The key is to find content that resonates with your audience, even if it's not coming from someone doing exactly what you do. And here's how to put this into action right now. Use Instagram search and hashtags to find content that speaks to your audience's pain points. So instead of just searching for competitors, search for topics that your audience is actually engaging with. Now, if you know your ideal client, you should be knowing this. You can also go to TikTok and YouTube Shorts. Just because your niche isn't viral on one platform doesn't mean it's not happening somewhere else. Some industries thrive on short form video, while others might do better with text-based posts on Twitter or LinkedIn. You really could tap into AI as well to be finding cross-industry trends. So asking ChatGPT, give me a list of related niches that my target audience also follows. This will help you expand your reach beyond your immediate industry. So one of my clients, Brianna Cox, she's a fitness coach. She applied the 10x10 strategy and didn't just go viral once. She went viral twice in 1 week, hitting 2.4 million views on a single reel. She wasn't just looking at other fitness coaches. She studied what was working for health influencers, wellness experts, and high-performing content in those adjacent spaces. And that's the shift. When you stop limiting yourself to only studying your direct competitors and start analyzing what's working in the broader content landscape, you open up a completely new world of viral potential. So the next time you think there's no one in my niche doing this, reframe the question. Where else does my audience spend their time? And what content is already capturing their attention? Because that might be where your next viral post is waiting, which could be the thing that takes you from a small audience to a really highly engaged engaged audience. What I also want to share is you cannot reverse engineer virality if you're analyzing the wrong kind of posts. So a lot of people do make the mistake of studying accounts that got lucky once instead of those accounts that are going viral consistently. I've kind of talked about this, but a one-hit wonder does not teach you a repeatable strategy. What you want to find are creators who've cracked the code and can do it over and over and over again. So what I want to do is break down exactly how to find the right accounts to study in the 10x10 method. Step 1, search for top creators in your niche. Start by searching for viral content within your industry across different platforms. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, you name it, go and look there. So what you're going to do is use keyword-based searches on Instagram Reels, on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, wherever it is. Look for accounts with at least 50,000 followers and high engagement, because follower count really means nothing if no one's actually engaging with the content. Prioritize creators who repeatedly go viral, not just someone who has that lucky post. And then once you find those 10 high-performing accounts, the next step is digging into what makes their content work. So step 2 is going to be looking for engagement patterns. You're not just looking for views. You want to analyze which accounts are getting really high shares and saves, because these signal content that actually spreads. You want to look for accounts that have lots of comments that indicates deep engagement and not just love this, but actual conversations. Look at a mix of viral hits and consistently solid engagement. Some people go viral once, but the best creators have a repeatable strategy. And then step 3 is taking action. Once you've identified 10 strong accounts, what you'll do is use AI to summarize key takeaways. Ask ChatGPT, summarize the most common engagement tactics used in these viral posts, save these accounts into an Instagram collection. What formats keep showing up? Are there certain emotional triggers they rely on? The goal is to build a bank of proven strategies so that when you create content, you're not guessing. You're following a formula that already works. Another example is Caroline started the 10x10 challenge with just 280 followers. She followed this exact process. She studied viral content, broke it down, and applied the patterns to her own posts. Within 5 days, her first viral reel hit 60,000 views. Just 4 days later, she hit 1 million views, and she didn't stop there. She kept testing. Her following grew by over 10x. She went from 280 to over 3,200 followers, with content reaching 2.2 million views. And it wasn't by luck. It was because she followed a system. That is the power of analyzing the right accounts and applying what already works. If you want to go viral consistently, stop trying to figure it out from scratch. Find the people who've already cracked the code, study their patterns, and implement them into your own content. Next up, let's talk about turning analysis into action and using it to create your own viral content. Because here's the thing, you can study viral content all day long, but if you don't actually apply what you're learning, it is not going to move the needle at all. The secret to mastering virality isn't just research. It is execution. It is testing. It is tweaking and refining until you figure out exactly what works for your audience on your platform. Because virality isn't just about one lucky post. It's about building a system you can repeat over and over and over again. Let me just really bring everything we're learning together and break down exactly how you turn everything you've analyzed into content that actually performs. So step 1 is follow proven viral frameworks, but make sure you add your own twist. If you're seeing that list style posts are performing over and over in your niche, don't just scroll past that. Create your own version. Teach 3 things, 5 steps, 7 mistakes, but do it with your expertise, your voice, your stories. If a certain video style is trending, maybe it's a text overlay or a specific transition, adapt it to your niche. Don't overthink it. Take what's working, put your spin on it, and get it posted. The same goes for hooks. If you find a high-performing hook in your research, use it as inspiration. Ask yourself, how would I say this? What's the version that makes sense for my audience, my message, my offers? And then let's also talk about audio, because this is where a lot of people miss the mark. You want to leverage trending audio and platform boosts when you can, but the trick is catching trends early. So probably what you want to do is look for sounds with under 10,000 uses. This gives you a chance to ride the wave before it's saturated, and then always add captions and text overlays. They don't just boost engagement, but they make your content more accessible and they keep people watching longer. From there, what you can also do, like I've talked about, is use AI to enhance content ideation and optimization. You should never be sitting there staring at a blank screen wondering what to write. Ask ChatGPT, give me 5 viral style Instagram captions based on this post content. Let it help you generate ideas, test different angles, and tighten up your copy. Now, once you're posting consistently, you've really got to start paying attention to which formats are driving the highest engagement. Analyze your posts. Are your talking head videos performing better? Is it the carousel graphics or the storytelling voiceovers? Test everything. Short captions versus long ones. Direct to camera versus text driven. Voiceover versus B-roll. Your job is to experiment until you know what your audience actually loves. A really common mistake that I see is people looking at their numbers day to day and getting discouraged. I really don't want you to do that. Your data tells you way more when you zoom out and you look at weekly trends, what's happening monthly. So if you have access to any kind of external analytics tools, you can use them. But honestly, I just stick with the insights that Instagram gives me. And here's your reminder, not every post is going to go viral, and that's okay. Virality is a numbers game. Some will flop, some will do okay, but every post gives you data. And that data is what gets you closer to the post that finally hits. So stop worrying about making every post perfect. Your job is to get in the game. Get the reps in and iterate based on what your audience is actually responding to. Because once you start creating content based on real data instead of guesswork, that's when you're going to see momentum. And that's when you build a content strategy that's designed to win over and over and over again. Like I've said, the only way this fails is if you give up too soon. So how do you stay consistent and scale your reach? The hard truth, like I have said, is virality will not happen for you overnight. It is not luck, it is the result of consistent effort, learning, and refinement over time. The people you see winning, the people that you're inspired by, the ones whose content just keeps popping off, they are not special. They are just the ones who kept going long enough to figure it out. The only way this is going to fail is if you quit too soon. So let me set some expectations for you because I know how easy it is to get frustrated when things aren't moving as fast as you'd like. So here's what your first 100 posts will actually look like and why you need to stay in the game. So week 1 to 4, you're probably in full experimentation mode. You're testing different formats, hooks, and topics. Some posts will totally flop, and that's normal. This part is messy by design. You're figuring it out. Weeks 5 to 8, you start noticing patterns. You start seeing which posts are picking up more saves, more shares, more comments. You start recognizing the styles, the topics, the hooks that your audience responds to. This is where you double down on what's working. Weeks 9 to 12, you're probably seeing that persistence is paying off. By this point, if you stay consistent, you likely see one or more posts finally break through. Listen, maybe it's not a million views, but you'll notice substantial reach. Your engagement rate is climbing. People start recognizing your name in their feed. The problem is, most people are going to quit somewhere around post 30 or 40. Right when they're about to hit the phase where things start working, they get discouraged. They tell themselves, it's not working, they're not good enough, and then they stop. But the people who break through, they are the ones who commit to seeing it all the way through, all the way to 100 posts and beyond. So how do we make sure that you don't fall into the quit too soon trap? First, I want you to commit to the full process. Don't set a goal to post 10 times. Set a goal to post 100 times. Mentally lock in that number and remind yourself this is a volume game. Second, study the data, but do not obsess over daily numbers. Looking at your analytics every single day is going to drive you crazy. Instead, zoom out. Look at your numbers weekly. Track trends. Patterns matter way more than any one post. Third, get your research dialed in now. Pick your 10 accounts today. Literally start today. Start analyzing what's working in your niche and your adjacent spaces. Pull 10 viral posts per account so you've got that database of content you can learn from and model. And finally, actually start creating your first 10 posts today. Don't wait for the perfect idea. Don't wait until you feel ready. Just start. Like literally, I'm talking to you. Just start now. Just start today. Because every post that you make is one step closer to cracking that code. You can refine it as you go, but trust the process. And remember, the only way this doesn't work is if you stop before it starts working. And the missing piece to long-term virality and growth is mastering consistent growth beyond a single viral moment. Here's what I really want you to take away from this. Virality isn't the finish line. It's not just about getting one post to blow up and then hoping it happens again. The real goal is building a repeatable system, something that allows you to create high-performing content over and over again so that every piece you put out keeps growing your audience, your brand, and your revenue. At this point, I hope you understand the formula. You probably should know how to reverse engineer the viral content, study the patterns, and optimize your message. But here's the truth. That one viral post isn't enough. If you do not have a system behind it, the traffic will come and it will go. You'll get the views, but they don't convert. You gain followers, but they do not stick around. So let's just talk quickly about how to turn those viral moments into real momentum that will actually compound over time. First, you are going to need a conversion strategy. Virality without a plan is just wasted reach. You've got to know exactly where you're sending people when that post blows up, because it's going to blow up. So are they joining your email list? Are they clicking over to your long form content? Are they going into your funnel? Next, focus on creating bingeable content. A single viral post is great, but what makes people stay is finding a backlog of valuable content that keeps pulling them in. The goal is to turn that new follower into someone who binge watches your content, connects with your brand, and eventually buys from you. Then you're going to refine and optimize your content process constantly. This is where AI and those data-driven insights come in. You're looking at what's working, you're looking at what's getting shared, what's driving engagement, and then doubling down on all of that. And then, if you really want to build staying power, focus on community building. That's my secret. Virality is always stronger when it sparks conversation. So engage with your comments, reply to your DMs, make your audience feel like they're part of something. And also don't forget the power of collaborations and partnerships. I love that. When you're partnering with creators or brands in adjacent niches, you're not just borrowing their audience, you're creating a new viral moment by combining two engaged communities. That's the system. That's how you create momentum that will keep building long after the views slow down on a single post. So if you're serious about this, which I'm going to guess you are if you've made it all this way, if you're ready to stop guessing and start following a proven framework, maybe you'll consider joining our signature membership, the Society. Inside the Society, you actually get access to the 10x10 Viral Content Workbook and a full curriculum that's going to show you how to put into action everything I'm teaching. It's designed to help you scale your reach, grow your audience, and build a business that thrives on organic traffic. And what's amazing is you can literally join for $97 a month. So if you're interested, I've put all the links below that you need, and hopefully I'll see you inside there. And if not, I'll see you in the next episode.